Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna wait a few minutes here before I start um, waiting for people to jump into the chat. I know last time some people were kind of bummed they didn't get an opportunity to jump in, so I'm just gonna wait a few minutes here before I start anything, so that people who are logging on um, have a bit of time. So don't mind some awkward silence here for a little bit, but I'm going to try to kind of just wait a little bit so people have an opportunity to ask questions. And I hope everyone's doing well. So there'll be a little awkward silence here for a little bit, so don't mind me. I'm going to go over um, just a couple things that I'm going to do with the channel a little bit differently. I'm going to start doing shorts. Um, I'll go over that a little bit more a little bit later. And then I'm really just going to go over the millions missing stuff. For those who missed the last video that I did, I was asking everyone in the community to leave a comment of the things that they're missing from due to ME in honor of the month of May, the millions missing. So I'm going to read the comments. There's a lot of comments, which is awesome to see. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for butchering names and pronunciations. I'm horrible at that. So if I say your name incorrectly, I apologize now because I know I'm going to do that. So yeah. So it looks like there's some people in the chat. Hello, how are you guys? I'm glad you guys are here. Oh, evening in Sweden. I'm happy to have you from Sweden. That's awesome. I've seen more people from Europe and the Southern Hemisphere lately. Before, I didn't see as many people from New Zealand, Australia, and parts of Europe, but I'm starting to see more and more people in those regions of the world popping up. Okay, so I'm going to start slowly here. I don't want to make the people that are already here wait too long. So I'm just going to start by reading off some of these millions missing. Trinidad, awesome. Okay, so the first comment that I got, and this is for millions missing things that people are missing from. And the first one that I got here is from Dog Carman. And that person put myself. And that's interesting. Most people, name events, socializing, and I think we could all relate to missing who we were before. A lot of us are going through mourning who we were and adapting to the new version of ourselves. Obviously, I think we should always be striving to go back to who we were and try to heal. Some of us do get better, and you should always have hope for that. I'm looking in the chat. I'm gonna go from reading the chat to reading the comments. So don't mind me if I have awkward silences in reading. Oh, Japan. I've never had someone from Japan in the chat. Welcome. Wow, all over the world. I mean, part of me feels this connection to the community. I see people from Sweden, from Trinidad, from Japan, and I say, wow, this is awesome to have this connection with people all around the world. And then part of me is just bummed out that people all around the world are dealing with this illness. Morai or Moray, again, sorry if I mispronounce your name. That person, and again, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, so I'm going to say person. The first thing that they put were they miss relationships. The second thing they put is they miss their career, they miss events, they miss travel, and they miss exercise. I think everyone can relate to those. I miss all those things as well. Amica says working, socializing, motorsport, and creating, or lack thereof creating because of brain fog. Yeah, I think everyone can relate to the brain fog. I think brain fog is probably the most prevalent symptom outside of fatigue. It's the hardest to deal with. Sometimes people ask me why don't I do more lives or videos more often. Brain fog. I can't get the words out, and I have a hard time. So that's the main reason. Okay, let's see. Seascape put social life and family gatherings / events, nursing career, traveling, walking. Rachel from the UK. So I'm reading the YouTube name and then whatever name people left. So it looks like her name is Rachel from the UK. Thanks for your comment. Yeah, traveling, career, and socializing, family stuff, especially the family stuff. It's hard letting your family down. Not a lot of people understand that. Gemma King, walking my dog, days out with the family, and shopping. Yeah, I miss that too. I had a dog for a lot of years. Well, I guess you could see the dog back here. It's a picture of our old dog. She passed away several years ago, but when I first got her, I didn't have Emmy, and we would go on long hikes and we would do lots of fun activities. And then, I couldn't do that anymore. And my poor dog would be like, anxious to go exercise, and I couldn't do it. So yeah, I miss that. Let's see, Gen B, weight training and exercise in general, having a career and social life, and walking out in nature with my dog. So Jen, yeah, I relate to all of those. Yeah, it's tough. You really do miss a lot of fun activities with this illness. Narrow Boat says family, friends, family, and freedom. Freedom, yeah, that's one that hasn't been mentioned yet, and that's one I think we can all relate to. Thanks for your comment. Now I'm going to look in the chat a little bit. We got an East Texan here. Welcome. I've been to Texas a couple times. Awesome state. Let's see here. Kavita, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Again, sorry if I pronounce it incorrectly. It says, I used to be a tap dancer. I really miss that. I love the ocean and body surfing. Me too. You miss that. I used to be in great shape, tall and lean. Now I'm 307 pounds. I miss when I was in great shape. I relate to a lot of that. I miss the ocean as well. I can't really go out and be in the ocean because, I can drown. Body just kind of gives out. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to miss out on a lot of these activities. I'm going to spell this out because I don't know how to pronounce it. Zendyk. So I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce that. The first thing you put is joy, a sense of purpose, my ability to make plans and be counted on to follow through. That's a tough one. I think everyone watching this understands what it's like to be counted on and let people down, and then you do your best at the expense of your health. Yeah, that's tough. Holiday dinners, traveling, yes, visiting family, doing music and crafts. Yeah, that's all stuff I think a lot of people can relate to. That's really hard. Let's see, Cat Chappie. I like that name. Being spontaneous, exuberance, being unbridled, exhaustion from physical labor in the garden. Yeah, I mean, you take something like gardening for granted. It's something that you think you could easily do for the rest of your life, and then that gets taken from you in the blink of an eye. It's hard. Let's see, Hummel. I'm sorry for the pronunciation, says they're missing themselves, person they used to be, still in grief. I've had this illness for, I don't know, 20 years now, close to 20 years now. And I still grieve who I used to be, the things I used to be able to do, the type of person I was on path to be. Um, yeah, it's tough. I'm going to look at the chat a little bit here. Hello from Italy. Hi, how are you? Welcome. I'm part Italian. I have family in Italy. So welcome. Let's see. Missing from everything, problems since 2009, severe since 2017, no longer living, just trying to survive. I miss going out and also miss staying in. The staying in isn't by choice. Yeah, I mean, I miss going out a lot. I think a lot of people do. It's tough. I used to be an amateur astronomer. I can no longer even look up anymore. I'm sorry to hear that. Astronomy always interested me. When I was in college, I took astronomy and always found it to be really interesting. No more horseback riding. These are all very difficult things to let go of. Thank you for your videos. They've really helped. You're very welcome. I'm glad they helped. I don't go out, but I take walks and have dance parties with my loved ones in my mind. When I thought of doing this video, it's for awareness and to give people an outlet to talk about the things they're missing. But it's really hard to read these, because I know how painful it is to let go of these things and to really miss these things. Sometimes having ME can feel like you're not really like alive, you're just existing. And, I enjoy reading all these comments, but man, it's tough. It's tough to read these because I can feel the pain through the comments. It's tough. Manuel Rodriguez, hello from Germany. Hello, how are you? Welcome. I recently watched your video about LDN and this motivated me to give it a try, but that video is 6 years ago. Could you give an update on this? Does it still help? I still take it. I still take LDN. It does help. I don't want people to think it's a cure. Although for some people it has been. I don't want to say it's not, but for the vast majority of people, I think it's just, it alleviates symptoms to some degree. Based on things I've read and based on the polls that I've done, which is just a small sample size, it seems to work well for about 35% of people. Then there's like a small percentage that just see a slight improvement. And then the rest either it didn't work for or it actually made them flare. So talk to your doctor, be careful before you do anything. But I think if you're, moderate, even mild ME, I think you should give it a try if your doctor thinks it's a good idea. So yeah, that was 6 years ago. I still take it every day. And if I stop taking it, I do notice a difference. It just kind of helps all of my symptoms a little bit, which I'll take anything I can get. Kavita, can we ask questions? Yes, please ask as many questions as you'd like. I'm going to be doing this for another probably 15 minutes. Let's see. This live chat is so comforting. It makes me feel less alone. So sad to hear about each other's struggles. Ruby, I'm happy to have you here, and I'm glad that it's comforting in a world and illness with not a lot of comfort. Even if there's a little comfort from this video, it makes me very happy to hear that. So thanks for watching. And yeah, it is tough to hear everybody's struggles because I think we all have a lot of empathy for each other's situations, because I don't think other people quite understand, even if they have the best intention to understand. I don't think they do. Excuse me. Let's see here. Linda, I try to find new hobbies for days I can sit up, like Bible journaling, even that I have to take mental breaks. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to commit to doing stuff, whether it's a small task or bullet journaling or diary or whatever it is. Even those things are hard to do. Johanna, hello from Sweden. Hello, how are you? Teresa Ford, what is LDN? LDN is low dose naltrexone. In higher doses, it's used to get people off opiates, I believe. That are people that are coming down from it. There's too much to go into here in the live. I have a video about LDN, but I recommend checking it out. People with autoimmune diseases tend to have some relief taking low dose naltrexone, but you have to talk to a doctor about that. Let's see, who prescribed LDN? My doctor prescribed it. You're in a log COVID program with mecfs almost 3 years now. Which provider would I talk to about this? So Linda, it depends on what country you're in. In the US, just your primary doctor could prescribe it, but you have to have someone knowledgeable because most doctors don't know much about it. Joe, hi from UK. Hello, how are you? Welcome. I'm finding time to loop a struggle. Time and day goes so quickly when housebound. Neurographic art is helping me when stuck in bed. Isolation is the hardest. Yeah, I mean, if you're sick, isolation is even makes things worse. We don't have a choice though. It is what it is. Being isolated is horrible. And humans aren't meant to be isolated. Let's see here. My doctor had me crush LDN in purified water. Just remember, low dose naltrexone should be 4.5 milligrams or less. And if it's not from a compounding pharmacy, I don't think it works the same. This isn't medical advice because I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to repeat what I've been told. If you're taking more than 4.5 milligrams, it's not going to work the same based on the studies that I've read. So if they're just giving you regular low dose naltrexone from a regular pharmacy and then telling you to crush it up, it's not going to have the same effect. You want to be taking, based on what I've heard, 4.5 milligrams or less, and it needs to be done at a compounding pharmacy. But check with a doctor that knows. Lucy, greetings from Germany. Lucy was my grandma's name. I loved her very much, so that name reminds me of her. I've had mecfs for 2 years, sudden onset overnight, like a switch had been flipped. Do you know other people with a sudden non-infectious onset? Is that not common? Most people that I have spoken to, it was kind of one day to another like a switch, but most had a virus that kind of triggered it. But I do know of people that just woke up feeling bad and they never got better. And I think that's why a lot of doctors say, hey, you're depressed. Hey, it's anxiety. Hey, it's all in your head, because there's no explanation yet. So, there are more tests now to prove, that you have mecfs, like CPET testing, things like that. But yes, I have heard of that. It's not super uncommon. It is more common to happen after having a virus or infection or high levels of stress or a car accident, surgeries, things that like bog down your immune system. But I have heard of it happening just kind of out of nowhere. Naomi, LDN made me flare. I stopped before it made me completely bedbound. What a wild disease that something can help some and hurt others. Yeah, that's the most annoying thing about ME and CFS as far as like treatments and stuff. My friend has mild ME, very mild. He can still work and do light exercise, but I recommended LDN. He took it, made him way worse. He felt way worse. As soon as he got off it, he felt better, and he's still living a fairly normal life without LDN. So who knew? And certain supplements affect people very poorly. And certain supplements help others. So I'm going to go back to the comments and then I'll jump back in the chat here in a little bit. I want to read people's comments like I promised I would. Robert put, the ability to work is something he misses. Meeting friends, traveling, freedom to do everything whenever I want to and not wait for energy. Yep, I get that. Alex, number one, planning. Yeah, you can't plan anything anymore with ME. My community and social life. Yeah, planning something's pretty tough when you have ME because you never know what you're going to get. Cat Chappy, I miss popping out of bed in the morning and feeling physically well, joyful, light-footed, and ready to leap into the day. I haven't had that feeling in 20 years. I know what you mean. Number two, I miss spending time with people, going to church in person, going to picnics or biking or climbing or fly fishing. I miss playing in bagpipe band and going to Highland games. I miss the vibrancy of interaction with others who spontaneously share my interests. Yeah, I miss being able to go to work and do the job I was trained for, which helped other people. It's hard to remember that this is a new phase in my life for now, but my hope is always that God has a plan and purpose, and that this time of my life is purposeful in some ways. That's very well put. And I hope the same thing. I pray for the same. Very well said. Very articulate comment. Sarah put listening to music for hours, seeing friends, various mental health qualities. Yep, I agree. Matt, things I miss: exercise, career, and travel. Those are pretty much the three that are really big for me as well. Irene S., good question. I miss long walks, hikes with my hubby, more time with my grandchildren, being spontaneous, not knowing what tomorrow will be like, and friends. You know, those are all things I believe every person deserves to have. And, you know, I'm sorry that you lost that. Catherine Dolan, I miss being part of a team. I miss my paddling, being out on the water. Yeah, I miss that too. Even though I'm an introvert, I miss being able to socialize. I can usually handle a conversation with one or two people, but add one more or a crowd in the background and I'm done. I miss being able to drive, to just hop in the car and go visit my daughter or my mom, my friends, run errands. But I'm grateful for the few things that I have come out of being sick. I'm grateful for my ever increasing ability to let go of my competitive side. Oh man, I could relate so much to that. I'm super competitive, or was, and at a detriment to my health. I had to stop. To let go of my drive and perfection. I'm also grateful for my increasing ability to accept help, to accept my limitations, to learn to live in the moment, as I never know how I'll be feeling in an hour or a day. And I'm grateful for the love and support from my husband, my family, and my friends. Catherine, that one I probably relate to the most. I have viewed life in a similar way, and I get it. That comment really touches me because I've had to let go of being a perfectionist, of my drive, my career. I was on to big things and had to let go of a lot of that. And I understand, what that feels like. I was very driven, still am driven, but I had to let go of certain aspects of my drive because it was slowly disabling me. Wendy, I miss the simple things, earning an income, which affects my self-worth as well as my ability to seek medical care, have a clean home, and baking. I used to love to bake and would bake more if I had the energy. I relate to all those things, and like Catherine had said, accepting help is a big thing. It's hard to do when you're proud and you've been baking and had really high self-worth, and then you kind of lose a lot of these things. It's really tough. Joanna says, my independence, seeing friends, going to a concert, being able to read a book, going for walks, waking up feeling rested and not hurting. Yeah, tell me about it. All right, I'm gonna hop back in the chat here for a little bit. So where did I leave off here? Thanks for all your comments and all the chat, by the way, and all the chat stuff. Trying to see where I left off. Okay. Maya, I really miss baking cookies. From South Africa, welcome. I grew up with a lot of South African friends, rad people. Joanna just got diagnosed with mecfs. I'm sorry that you were recently diagnosed with that, but if there was ever a time to be diagnosed, the best time is now. There's videos like this on YouTube. There's more avenues to seek help than before. I thought I had mecfs for 5 years and then got COVID, was hospitalized, and then doctors found out I have pan hypopituitarism. I butchered that. Symptoms are similar. Pituitary gland, I'm guessing. Not sure, but that's a very interesting comment. Thank you for that. If your ME or long COVID just started, pace and do not overdo. That's great advice. That's really good advice. Let's see here. It's such a lonely illness. Lots of people don't really understand, even when you explain your illness. Thanks for your videos. Very helpful. I'm glad the videos help. And you're absolutely right. No one really gets it. That's why I try to do these lives so we could all interact, because I think we all get it. Rare diseases should always be considered for those with ME/CFS symptoms. I agree. The problem is it's a diagnosis of exclusion, and you need a really, really good doctor to rule those rare illnesses out. I did that. I went through, honestly, I probably could have bought a house with the money I spent, doing tests. But yeah, you should rule out a lot of things that are similar to ME and CFS for sure. Let's see. A counselor friend certified, excuse me, in low energy neurofeedback helps me. I'm glad that helps. Question. I got CFS at 24. I'm 64 now, and my health has gotten way worse. Do you think new illnesses like neuropathy, severe pain, degenerative disc disorder come from ME? There's no way to know, but yes, I do think so. I also have nerve issues that I've developed, balance issues, dizziness issues, and they kind of started snowballing. And my doctor tends to think it's all related to ME. I think it does open the door to other illnesses, but there's no way to know. Teresa Ford, I'm new to your channel. I love it. And yes, I will check out your other videos. Oh, thank you. And learn about LD and other things to do to help yourself. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy the videos. Let's see. Have you ever heard about someone getting sick right after getting the vax? Yes, I have. I don't know if they developed ME, but very similar symptoms. So yeah, I have, but I don't know enough about their health, and I don't know enough about their history to come to that conclusion. But there's enough out there, I think, to ask the question at least. But there's no way to know unless a professional, looks over that. Let's see. Do you believe recovery is possible for those like Raylan's channel? No, is the short answer. I think you should always be hopeful for improving. And I do think there are a small percentage of people that get completely better and recover. I think that particular person's channel talks about, and I've only watched her channel a little bit, and I think she means well. I don't want to say anything disparaging about her or her channel. But the idea of thinking positive thoughts to heal, I find to be a little bit insulting to people that are severely sick. Is positive thought important? can positive thought help you get better? Yes, I think positive thought is one of the most important things in life. You have to be positive. Is it negative for me to say, no, I don't think recovery is possible? I don't really view it as negative as much as I view it as just realistic based on the data that we have. If I start to see people recovering from ME much more often, I'll change my opinion. I'll go based on the facts and the data that we have. So it's not about being positive or negative from my standpoint. It's about, I've talked to hundreds of people with ME over the last 20 years. I have never met someone that's recovered. I've met people that have improved. That is possible. I do know. I do know people recover. There's a giant fly flying right around. So sorry if you hear that. I do know people improve. That's for sure. I've met a lot of people that are improved from LDN, from pacing, from supplements, lifestyle changes, diet, sleeping better, de-stressing, being positive. These things do help people improve. But channels like that, I think channels like that are trying to have a positive spin on something that's very negative, and I can't knock that. But I do, and this is just my opinion, I find it off-putting when channels imply that rewiring how you think is going to heal you from, and that's going to let your body heal itself because the body is a miracle worker. I find that to be a little bit irresponsible, even though I do think it comes from a good place, if that makes sense. So I think what she's doing is great because it does come from a positive place, but I don't want people to, start trying to rewire their brain, because having ME is not because your brain is not because you don't have it because your thought process is incorrect, right? And that implication kind of bothers me. But I wish her the best, and I wish people watching her channel the best, and I hope they're gaining something positive from that. Let's see. Haven't been able to listen to music for over a year now. I miss that a lot. I'm sorry. Music can help a lot. Let's see. Thank you for making this great channel very helpful. Thanks for watching. Are you working now? I retired a long time ago. ME stole my career from me. If I could be back in my career, I would be doing it. I made really good money. I had everything I ever wanted, as far as, a home and, the materialistic things that don't matter a lot, but I was living comfortably. And a lot of that was taken pretty quickly by this illness. Let's see here. I think recovery is possible if doctors find out what mainly causes CFS. So Ruby, I think if they come up with treatments, I think recovery is possible. I do believe eventually that will happen. I do think long COVID is leading to more studies. And I do think one day there'll be treatment and people will feel a lot better. I just don't think that thinking happy thoughts, like some people have implied, can cure ME. I find that to be offensive. Joanna, I got my diagnosis after an accident. A lot of people have, actually. I have heard of that a lot. Okay, I'm going to jump into back to the comments. Then I'm going to go back to the chat, and then I'm going to wrap up a couple minutes after that. I don't want to go into PEM here. So let's see here. Sarah, socializing, my job, the feeling of waking up refreshed physically and emotionally. Yeah, I mean, that's for sure. In no particular order, being able to go to social gatherings without getting exhausted, taking long hikes in the mountains, being able to listen to music like whenever I want. And your name is Miss HJORT. Katrin is dancing, choreography, career, being alone and not understood, feeling like a ghost and living in a darkened bedroom, not being able to help others in the world gone mad. 23 years now. I'm sorry. Julia, I miss the ability to access the knowledge I have to have an intelligent conversation. I miss being able to have social interactions. I miss working out and having muscle tone. I miss being able to look forward to an event instead of worrying if I will be able to do it, stressing on how to prepare for the best outcome. I miss having a career and so much more. Julia, 34 years of Emmy. It's tough. Doreen, family functions, birthdays, weddings, holidays, walking my dog on long walks, friends going to the pub, listening to groups and getting up dancing, going to garden, trips out to the beach with daughter, with dog, and many more things. Hugs to all. Yeah, man, these are things that I believe every person should be able to enjoy. Lydia, friendships and social development from age of 15, reading books, exploring new places. The furthest away from home I've ever been is the hospital. Man, I'm really sorry to hear that. That's really tough. Hang in there. That's a tough one to read. Forgive me for this giant bug flying above my window. Lizanna, sorry for butchering your name if I did. Things I miss. I sit on the sideline and watch my children grow up without me. It's tough. Being able to cook for my family, being able to leave my house for longer than an hour a week. Most importantly, I miss not feeling guilty and useless all the time. Well, I know this might not help a lot, but don't feel guilty because you did not choose this. Don't feel guilty. You did not choose to have this illness. Chris, I've had ME since 2000, bedridden for about 10 years. Any family get-togethers, the number one thing you miss. Number two, being present in my children's lives. Number three, leaving the house or even my room. Man, these are tough to read. I'm happy to read them, and I'm glad people are sharing, but these comments really hurt my heart. Daniel, you nailed my top three. I would just add landscape and travel photography. I've learned to change my subject matter to what I can occasionally target from my car window when I'm up to do it. You're adapting and that's good, but yeah, traveling and landscape photography sounds like an awesome thing to do. Amy, socializing in the fast pace of life, I would win number one. My family owns a restaurant and I used to run the front of the house. Love chatting with customers, being in the action-packed environment. I haven't been there in almost 3 years. I'm sorry. Working from home now, and even that is hard. Gardening and other intense outdoor activities, driving, throwing in travel. I'm sorry I can't read all of these. I also have to be careful not to go into post-exertional malaise, so I'm trying to get through these quickly. So forgive me. Penny, I think is how you pronounce your name. Friends, social activity, the ability to commit to anything, church, social groups, running around, like your hair's on fire. I used to be the person that never stopped, did it all, and I miss that so much. Thanks, Johnny, for trying to bring awareness to this terrible monster so many of us live with. I'm happy to do it, and I understand what you mean about running around and being the person that never stopped. That was definitely me. Ruby, my ability to rock climb. I always found rock climbers to be really interesting people. I would never do that, healthy or not. That would scare me. All my muscles I spent 6 years building up. Being able to connect with others on a basic level, they never get how sick I am. Yeah, makes me feel alone and not really human. Well, I know how it feels, so I'm human, and you can connect with me and everyone in the chat. Trust me, I know how sick you are. Experiences that come with being a young adult, going to college, making new friends, getting a job. Loss of my mind, thinking makes me feel like I'm going through swampy Martian fog. Yeah, no, I get it. I get that. But don't feel too alone. There's a lot of us that have this. As you can see in the chat, people in South Africa, Japan, Sweden, Germany, New Zealand, I'm in California. There's a lot of us. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit in the chat. If you have any questions, now's the time to put them in there. I'm going to stick around just for a couple more minutes. Let's see here. What can we do to encourage more research? I wish I had an answer for that. The OMF Foundation, I think, is doing great research. I think donating to them is probably one of the better things you could do at the moment. I'm trying to plan some things that are in the works, but as you know, with ME, planning is tough and things take forever. Where do you go for the latest research on this disease? Honestly, just Google. That's it. And I have a group of friends around me. They know I'm not feeling well often, so they send me articles and things like that. Family also does a lot of research, and they go, "Hey, check this out," and then they say, "Hey, people on your channel might like this," and then that's usually how I do it. Robert, hello, thank you for your channel and your information about CFS. Have you ever heard of ketamine therapy for CFS or experience with it? My doctor asked for it. I've heard of it, but I don't know enough to speak on it, to be honest. So I'm sorry. Kavita, 40 years with ME, CFS, a lot of crying. That's a long time. And yes, I don't think there's anyone in this chat that hasn't cried about this. Susanna, thank you, especially for the wise and clear. Do not feel guilty. You did not choose this. You're welcome. Yeah. If you can't be the parent you used to be, the friend you used to be, you didn't want this. No one wants this illness. That's why when people say, think more positive, don't think like a sick person, that gets under my skin a little bit. No one wants to be sick. We understand. Go get rest. Yeah, I'm going to here in a little bit. I could already feel different than I did at the beginning of the live chat. But I want to get through it because there's one thing sometimes my family tells me. They say, "Hey, you only do your videos when you feel up to it." I think people should see how sick you are the vast majority of the time. And the reason that I don't do that is because I feel like a lot of people document how sick they are and they show it. And I also think that being sick, you don't really want to see other people be sick. Your heart goes out to them, and also you're sick yourself. You want to see something different. And I just want people to see ME a little bit differently. But that's why I tend to only do videos when I'm, really up to it. And, because a lot of people say, show them when you're sick. I look different. I speak different. But you guys already know what that's like. You live through that. So I want to do my best to present information when I'm doing okay. And then some people say, hey, people are going to think ME is not serious if they see you look fine. But they need to understand that having ME means you often look fine. I'm looking at myself in this video, and if I just didn't say anything and was just sitting at a dinner table, no one would know I have a disabling illness. So I want people to know this also looks like a disabling illness. You don't need to be in a wheelchair to be disabled. And that's kind of why I continue to only do these videos when I feel well, but I already feel myself declining. But I do want to get through these. And then I also, before I finish these, I want to say I'm going to be doing shorts. I'm going to be doing short videos. A lot of people have said they don't, like on the severe end of the spectrum, they don't feel well and they can't watch the whole video. So for videos that I say, 5 things that I take or 5 things not to say, I'm going to do shorts, YouTube shorts, and they're less than a minute. And I'm going to fire off those 5 things. I'm not going to go into any detail. So they're going to basically be similar to the videos I've already done. And hopefully people that can't watch the full video can get, a benefit from it. Okay, I'm going to read a few more here. Asa, is that how you pronounce your name? Sorry if I didn't pronounce it correctly. What I like about your videos is that you are there and simply explain what ME is without saying that if you do this or that, you will get cured. You feel like a safe spot to have during this journey. That means a lot to me because that's what I wanted this to be, is a safe place for people that have been shunned by everybody else. So it does make me feel great to hear that. So yeah, get so sad when you hear just do this and you'll be fine, or subscribe to our program and you'll be fine. Or as you said, brain training, that means it's in your mind and body, which feels like mocking. Yeah, it feels like mocking, and it's also kind of blaming you, which is what a lot of doctors do when they don't have an answer. They say, hey, you're depressed. Hey, you're stressed. Hey, you're doing this. That's frustrating. It took over 5 years to convince doctors that I don't have depression or anxiety, finally diagnosed by a specialist. I'm glad, because that's really where you do start to improve a bit. Yeah, sometimes you just have to go through seeing a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and they say, no, you don't have depression or anxiety. Then you take that to the doctor and go, this is what this person specializes in. They said I don't have any type of depression or anxiety. So where do we go from here? That's kind of what helped me. I saw like 3 different therapists and stuff, and they're all like, you have no signs of anxiety or depression. So tell your doctor to quit wasting time and figure it out. Gary, I was just diagnosed in mid-50s. I never wanted to watch your channel because I didn't want to hear where I was headed. In the end, it let me know I'm not alone. So thank you. I understand. Yeah, I get it. But I feel that way too. So there's a lot, and that goes back to what I just said a few minutes ago, Gary, is that I didn't want to make a channel where you see me sick all the time, even though I am sick the majority of my life and day, is because I feel like people need a little bit of hope in art. You're already in a dark place dealing with an illness, and you don't want to see another person going through that. Some people do. That's just not what I'm doing. Vendors don't overdo. Thank you. Yeah. We all know how bad it gets. You made the right choice. Hi from Norway. Hello. Welcome. Recently diagnosed with ME, CFS, fibromyalgia. I love your videos. Thank you. Bobby, I feel like fibro and ME are like cousins. I have a friend with fibro, and we always talk about our similar symptoms. And she and I have come to the conclusion that they're almost the same thing. Just a little bit different. But welcome to the channel, and Norway, I've always wanted to visit. Appreciate all the time and effort you put into the channel. Thank you, Beth. I think doing your videos when you are well, you are helping us by bringing us together. Thank you. Sometimes my mom is the person who inspired me to make this video. She, said, take the skill set that you had in your career and in school and all these things, apply it to the video, talk to people, and get out there and articulate, use your ability to articulate what this illness is like, so people can see that it's not, when you see someone sick in bed, your heart goes out to them, you have empathy, but it gets hard to watch after a while because you're going through that too. And really, my mom is and was my inspiration to making this channel, and kind of having more of a positive spin really was her idea, and she was the brainchild behind it. So shout out to my mom. Mom, I love you. Appreciate all the time and effort. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Let's see. To everyone in the chat, we are our own tribe. Somehow we have each other. I agree. Thank you to your mom. You know what? I'm going to tell her that. She's going to like that. My mom has been my #1 supporter. I'm actually going to take a second here my mom, who's now 77 years old, from the minute I got sick 20 years ago, went to the every single doctor's appointment with me. When doctors told me it was in my head, my mom was not having it. When they told me I was being lazy, my mom checked them. She put them in their place. She has always been someone I looked up to. My father passed away when I was 11, and my mom has just been an amazing person. She never doubted that I had ME. She still to this day says, you're going to get better, do whatever you can. She's always encouraging me to try things. When I don't post for a long time, she says, hey, get out there and make a video. And she has fought for the ME community so hard. I mean, she has written letters to congressmen, to senators, raised money for research, gotten all her friends to donate. Anytime someone has spoken poorly about people with ME or CFS, doctors, specialists, because I've been to a lot of doctors that said nothing's wrong with you. You guys know the whole journey. And my mom goes, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I know my son. He's a driven person. He doesn't need attention. He's not a victim. He's none of those things. And no one with ME is. And you're failing as a doctor, letting these people down. And she's tough. She's tough. If you see her, she's nice. She's a petite, nice, funny, loving person. But I just want everyone out there watching this to know that she's been a fighter for ME for 20 years. She has no quit in her. Even at 77, she's feisty, and she does not take any nonsense with the ME stuff. Smiles to my mom. I'm going to show her this. She's going to laugh and appreciate it. Hi from South Africa. Have you tried NAC? And has it made a difference for you? I just started on it. So Angela, it's interesting. I'm just talking about my mom. She sent me a link this morning about that to look into that. So I'm going to look into that and I'll make a video about it. But that's interesting that you wrote that. And my mom sent me a link this morning about that. That's just like my mom, Ruby says. I love to hear that other people are like that. Love your mom, true advocate. Yeah, she's tough. She is not, especially with the doctors. She wouldn't let the doctors get away with the nonsense. She was not having that at all. Wow, great mom. Wish we all had such a person in our lives. Thank you, Mom. I don't know where I'd be without my mom, to be honest. From the minute that I got sick, I told her that I was dropping out of school and giving up my career. And she just gave me a hug and said, I understand. And she understood how hard that was for me. She knows how driven I am. And she didn't doubt me 1 second. And that means so much to me. And I know you guys understand that. Are we brothers? She sounds just like my mom. Awesome. I love that. Let's see. HNO, attention. That must be the worst theory ever, that we just want attention. Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I had a doctor. I was really young, but the doctor was like, this is a cry for help. And it was just nonsense. My mom was like, we're out of here. Walked out of the office, grabbed me and said, we're out of here. Let's see. Just got here. Fellow warrior. Hello, fellow warriors. Hello. Like we wouldn't want to get attention from things being sick. Such a crazy, absurd theory. Yeah, I don't get it either. I take NAC. It is helping me. Awesome. What was your career? I was a power grid engineer in corporate. That's pretty awesome. I was a realtor, and I did property management for commercial and residential buildings, and was starting my own brokerage at the age of 23, and gave it all up. Yeah, I was about to build my own brokerage, and yeah, I had to give it up. Consider yourself blessed, Johnny. I am isolated. I'm really sorry to hear that. I do count my blessings every day that I have someone like that in my life. But you know what? I have lost other people in my family. Haven't talked to my sister in 15 years. So, um, lost one family member and I am blessed to have my mom, but also I have lost family members in part. It wasn't just because of the Emmy. There's other just family drama that everybody has, but a big part of it was Emmy. And I understand what it's like to lose a family member and many friends. I get it, which makes me appreciate my mom even more. Hello from Japan. Great mom. Love to hear about your mom. Thank you. My sister hates me too. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not laughing because that's funny. It's just, I get it. That's why I'm laughing. Okay, so I am going to wrap up. I feel a migraine coming on. I'm going to go relax a little bit. Although I did really enjoy this. I hope to do this again sometime. Luckily, I'm having a good day. I slept well. I've definitely had worse days, so this worked out. I don't know if I'll be able to do one this long. It's almost an hour. I didn't even realize that. Maybe you can get your mom on a live stream one day. My mom had a stroke a little over a year ago, and she's not quite as articulate as she once was. Luckily, she doesn't have a lot of residual effects, but she used to be this like really outgoing, super articulate person. She's from Argentina, and ever since having the stroke, her English, which she already had a thick accent, her English got a lot worse after the stroke. It never really came back. So I don't know if she'd ever do a live stream. Maybe she'll pop in and say hi, but I don't think she would partake a whole lot. But thank you for requesting that. I wish she could. Thank you, Johnny. Do take care. Please take care of yourself. Pacing's important. Yeah, pacing's very important. Thank you for everyone joining in the chat. A big hug to everyone out there. 36 of you looked like you were in the live stream. I appreciate it. And if you guys enjoyed this, I'll try to do this again another time. And listen, I'm sorry for everything that everyone's missing because of Emmy. And, Millions Missing is a big movement. It's growing. And, I hope it raises more awareness. Keep trying to get better. Don't give up on that. Never give up on trying to improve. And until next time, I hope everyone takes care. All right.